Alright, here we go with the May 21st submitted assignment. This is your second to last one. Once this is complete, you got one more next Thursday, probably May 28th. And then that would be it. So you got 5 questions today. We'll work through them and we'll go from there. There are 5, like I said. Number 1 is, this is your only multiple choice, so hopefully you did the work for the rest of them. It says, Stephanie purchased X hot dogs and Y hamburgers at a baseball game. She spent a total of $10. That's what this is. This tells you everything you need to know. She purchased, that's how many hot dogs, that's how many hamburgers. So we don't know, but what we do know is she spent a total of $10. They're telling you, and this is a typical Keystone question, that's actually where I got this from. Here's the answer. Now, you don't really actually have to do any work. 2-1 works. If you were to plug that back in, you see that it works. Okay, so that's not the point of this question. What this question is saying is, what does 2-1 mean? Well, 2 is X and 1 is Y. X is the amount of hot dogs she bought. So she bought 2 hot dogs and 1 hamburger. So hamburgers cost 2 times. Nope, do not know that. Stephanie purchased 2 hot dogs and 1 hamburger. So that's, I mean, it's straightforward. It's just sometimes these questions do give some people a little bit of trouble, so it's worth going through. All right, here's number 2. You're supposed to solve the last 4 questions using the specified method. Here we are asked to do substitution. What's nice is this is already ready to go for substitution. You can tell because there is a variable that is isolated. Y is by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Then I'm going to solve, starting by distributing. You get 26x equals, if I subtract that 5 to the other side, you get 0. This is a common time for people to say that this is no solution. But all this equation is saying is there a number that x could be that when you multiply it by 26, you get 0? And there is, and you can find that by dividing by 26. 0 divided by anything is 0, so you get x equals 0. There's nothing wrong with that. 0 is a number. Now when I plug 0 back in, 6 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Y equals 1, x equals 0. That means my final answer would be 0, comma 1. Okay. Last question. You are asked to graph. So, what's nice about this question is it's already in slope-intercept form. So the ones I asked you to do is, because again, being realistic here, you can use whatever method you want. So why would you use any other method when they're both in slope-intercept form, right? Why would you use some other method when you already have one variable by itself, but the other one's not? So that's why I asked you to do the certain things at certain situations. Here we're graphing. I brought a couple of markers with me. So we're going to go blue for the top line. That top line gives me a y-intercept of -3. Gives me a slope of -2, 3, which means I would go down 2 to the right 3 or up 2 to the left 3. In black, bottom line starts at +4, has a slope of 1/2, which means I would rise 1, go to the right 2, or I would go down 1 and go to the left 2. And it looks like I'm going to make one more point with my blue line, which would have been up to the left 3. You can see where they intersect. If I draw my lines, we'll really be able to tell this is what you did all last week. Hopefully you didn't forget about it. Hopefully you still remember how to graph lines. And you do see that they meet very nicely at the point -6, +1. All right, on the back, we have our elimination method. Now, the only nice thing that I did for you here with elimination method is put them in standard form. We don't have opposites. However, we can easily create opposites. If I multiply the top by a 7, I would be able to cancel my x's. In the past, a lot of students like to cancel their y's. It doesn't matter. When I multiply by that 7, I get a negative 7x minus 28y equals negative 70. 7 times 9 is 63, negative 133. Don't have to do anything with the bottom equation. Now I've got my opposites. Now I add across. X's cancel. Negative 25y equals a negative 125. Which is really nice because this works out. Divide by negative 120, or divide by a negative 25. Y equals a positive 5. You can plug that into whichever equation you want. I guess there's no easy one. We'll just go to the bottom one there. That gives us a 7x plus a 3 times 5 equals 8. 7x plus 15 equals 8, 7x equals a negative 7, x equals a negative 1, which is nice. Final answer, negative 1, comma 5. So, what was nice about all three methods so far, we got really nice answers. On to the last one. The last one, honestly, a little bit challenging for some of you, I'm sure. If you look closely, neither of these equations are in any form. This particular problem is not ready to be solved using substitution, graphing, or elimination. It is entirely you choosing a method and going with it. Now, because I don't know what any of you guys did, I am going to do this all three ways. So what you can do here is pause the video. Hopefully you don't have to pause the video. Hopefully your work's in front of you. Look at what method you did, and then find what I'm doing. I'm going to go in the order of this assignment. So I'm going to do substitution, graphing, and then elimination. So if you did elimination, just kind of fast forward to the back. If you did substitution, stay on with me right now because I'm going to do that first. If you did graphing, just go a little bit forward and look for when I start to graph. All right, so substitution first. Substitution. I'll put in green. Substitution, I need to get a variable by itself. It looks like in this bottom equation, I can easily get x by itself if I divide everything by 4. Now what happens here is, it works nicely with 72. 4 times 20 is 80. So that means 4 times 18 would be 72. So works out nicely. 4 goes into 72. Not so nice. We do get a fraction. Hopefully that works out in the long run. But I do have a variable by itself, which I now can plug into that top equation. So the top equation was 27y minus 81 plus 21. And now I'm going to put all this junk in here. And I'm going to try and solve. Okay. Which means I have to distribute that 21. So we have 27y minus 81. Oh boy, here we go. 21 times 18. Well, 20 times 20 is 400. So that means 20, nah, it's not going to work. 21 times 10 is 210. Twenty times 8 is 160, so that's 370 plus another, so I'm going to say it's 388. Let's see. 21 times 18. 378. It's close. That's why you always have a calculator, just in case. So that's 378. Then an ugly fraction coming up here. Oh, geez. 21 times 9 is 180. That's 20 times 9, so another 9 is 189. All right, 21 times 9, 189. So we have 189 over 4y equals 0. This is getting ugly. All right, well, hopefully you didn't choose substitution. Or if you did, hopefully you stick with it. I'm confident this will work. We've got to combine our y's, which means these need common denominators. So if I make that a 4, it means I need to multiply by 4. 27 times 4 is 108. So 108 plus 189 is going to give me 297 over 4y equal to, I'm going to take these to the other side now, which means, well, I'll take 81 away from 378 and I'll get 297. So yeah, it looks like it might work out. I'm going to get a positive 297 here, but I'm going to take it to the other side, which is going to make it negative. So I'm going to multiply by 4. But watch what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to do all the work because I know I'm going to divide by a 297 anyways. So now when I divide by my 297, that leaves my y by itself. But when I divide by my 297 here, they'll cancel, leaving me with a negative 4. Now it actually did work out. So now that that's a negative 4, plug that in back up here. The 4's are going to cancel, leaving me with a negative 9. 18 minus 9 is 9. Which means the final answer for this is going to be the same no matter what method you use. But there you go. Those who use substitution, hopefully you did do substitution the same way I did and you solved for x and you stuck with it. Maybe you used a calculator and didn't do as much in your head, but it should work out. Okay, we're going to go graphing in blue. Graphing means I'm going to have to put these in a slope-intercept form. So on this bottom equation, I'm going to subtract this 72 to the other side. So I'm going to get something that looks like this. And now I'm going to divide by 9. And again, here we go with these fractions. Our slope is a 4/9. But that's easy to graph. That's a nice slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go down here, negative 8, up 4 to the right 9. I'm going to graph that line. Sorry, I know I just flipped you guys who are watching the video. I'll put it back. I just needed to graph that line. Okay, so that puts us there. Then this top line, I'm going to have to add the 81, subtract the 21, and then divide by 27. That would put me at, sorry again, writing all over the place here. Y equals 21 over 27. Well, 7 goes into, or no, 7 doesn't. 3 goes into both of those, which is going to give me a negative 7/9 as my slope. 27 goes into 81 3 times, which is nice. So plus 3. We go down 7 to the right 9. Look at that. They do cross. So if you stayed with it and went with graphing, you do get the same answer, 9, negative 4. Really nice. All right. We're going to squeeze elimination down here at the bottom. Elimination, the most important part with elimination is, believe it or not, it doesn't have to be exactly in standard form. However, everything has to match up. When you look at this originally, y is over x. There's an equal sign here, but no equal sign up here. You can't do elimination the way this sits. You've got to make sure the x's are above the x's, y's are above the y's, the equal sign's above the equal sign, the constant's above the constant. So again, technically doesn't need to be in standard form, but it's an easy way to make sure you're always following the right pattern. So I'm going to put these in standard form, which easy for the bottom equation because I just need to subtract the 9 over to the other side. For the top equation, I'm going to have to add the 81 to the other side. And then I'm just going to have to rewrite the x first. Wow, elimination actually not too bad of a method. Because you can see right here, multiply the top by 3, and I'm pretty much good to go. That's going to give me a 12x minus a 27y. They're going to cancel. 72 times 3 is 144 to 16. And now look at this. My y's are going to cancel. I'm going to get a 33x equal to a 297. And It should be 9 times. That's our answer. Let's see. 297 divided by 33 is 9. Elimination, I would actually say, was probably the easiest method. Once you have x, plug it in wherever you want. It's going to be a lot of calculations. I'm going to kind of just save us time. If I put it up there, that's going to give me a 36. Subtract the 36 to the other side. That's going to give me a negative 9 equals a 36. Divide by the 9. The negative 9, it's going to give me a negative 4. And together it does give me that answer. So whatever method you used, you would end up the same way. It's sloppy and not nice, but it does work. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, we've got one more submitted assignment. Stick with it. Do your work, and you'll be moving on to geometry next time I see you guys.